echo session. And our topic today is enhancing active learning using a tool known as Multimeter. So we already have our presenters in the house and we welcome them warmly. We have two languages that are operating. We have English and French. For the French speakers, we have an icon, a globe icon. Please use it. Sorry, Ken. We'll try to restrict the use of the chat to only questions and comments. In case you have problems, any Zoom problem, please type Echo IT and Ken is available to help you. Remember to rename yourselves. Put your name and organization. If it is possible, on your bandwidth allows, turn on your videos. Mine, I'm not sure, so I'll do it only briefly and then turn it off. Please ensure that your microphones are muted at all times unless you're granted permission to speak. So this session is being recorded and your attendance is consent to be recorded. We'll have presentations, slides, and a recording link shared with you by email and on WhatsApp after the session. And finally, we'll have a certificate of attendance. If you are interested in it, please fill in a short survey and you'll be able to access the certificate. Over. So I would like to straight away ask Richard to take us through the agenda and introduce the topic. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Winnie. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning. Richard Kajumbula from the Institute of Open Distance and eLearning, Maka University, and also coordinator for this ECHO virtual community of practice sessions. I welcome you to today's session in which we're going to look at one of the tools that enhance synchronous learning which is real time on the internet. And the title or topic, like Winnie has said today, is enhancing active learning in synchronous learning using Multimeter. So we're going to look at a tool known as Multimeter. We shall first have our case study presenter present to us. I'll introduce a case study presenter at the appropriate time. She'll present a case, and we shall have our subject matter expert validate the case. After that, we shall have also chance we shall have chance as an audience to respond to the case. And in case of any clarity needed, we shall seek that clarity and then shall transition to the subject matter expert presentation, which we expect to be a practical presentation. So we're going to be doing some practical work. He will be telling us to switch between our computers and some tools on the internet so that we can learn how to increase active learning. We shall then have a question and answer session after the subject matter expert has presented. We shall have some announcements at the end and then close. I encourage all of you to please register in the chat like Winnie has intimated or said. So Winnie, that is our session flow for that day. Over to you.
Thank you, Richard. I invite you to welcome our case presenter and introduce her.
Thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Winnie. Our case study presenter today is none other than Dr. Rebecca Wambua. Dr. Rebecca Wambua is a seasoned distance education scholar with a PhD in that area, and she's a lecturer and coordinator of distance learning in African Nazarene University, that is in Kenya. She's from the Department of Education, the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and the African Nazarene University. She's a founding chairperson of the Distance Open and eLearning Practitioners Association of Kenya. She has practiced coordinating ODF for over 13 years. She has worked for the university and other universities for over 14 years, with 12 of those years serving distance learning students. So she has worked with distance learners for quite some time, and so she's so suited to present a case here. She has served for 6 years in managerial positions in African Nazarene University, especially spearheading distance learning programs. So that is Dr. Wambua, but currently, on top of all that profile, she's the chairperson of the Distance Open and eLearning Practitioners Association of Kenya, which we shall be calling upon many of you to join the discourse sometime in future. So let me take this minute to invite Dr. Wambua to present the case. Over to you, Dr. Wambua.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just. Okay, so thank you for this opportunity for me to go through my presentation, and I'm grateful for the invitation, so thank you very much. I'll give a background about African Nazarene University. Some of us may not be knowing about the university. African Nazarene University is a private Christian university, and it is started by the International Church of the Nazarene. So it is a missionary-sponsored university. The Church of Nazarene in US is the one that has sponsored the university. On 23rd November 1993, the Commission for Higher Education issued on behalf of the Kenyan government a letter of interim authority to lay the foundation and develop the university. So on 8th of October 2002, the Kenyan government granted the university its charter. So since 2002, it has been a chartered university. And in this university, there is an institute known as ANU Institute of Open and Distance Learning that was established in the year 2011 to spearhead the development of institutional policies and strategies for promoting the innovative use of information and communication technologies to benefit learning, teaching, and research activities in the university. Now, in this university, we have, of course, the faculty. The faculty in the university are expected to teach both face-to-face students and also the online students. Before COVID happened, we had students who were on full-time, who are full-time enrolled in face-to-face classes. But now, after COVID, we realized that majority of the students went online. So currently, most of the students are online, and therefore the faculty are expected to have the skills to train them online. So faculty have been trained on the principles of instructional design for various delivery modes for open and distance learning modes, aimed at developing learning approaches that would guarantee real-time reach to students in multiple locations in a cost-effective way. Now, at African Nazarene University, we use the Moodle platform in teaching online, and this platform is known as eNaz. So the virtual learning environment is known as eNaz, modeled around a web-based learning management system, electronic community, and administrative sites for students and faculty. Besides hosting learning and teaching activities, the eNaz facilitates interaction and collaboration between and among students, academic, administrative, and technical staff. So what challenges are we facing or experiencing at African Nazarene University? As I said previously, before COVID, we had students who were fully enrolled for face-to-face classes, while others were fully enrolled for distance learning, and majority of the students were attending the face-to-face lessons. However, during COVID, the students went online, and with time, even especially the government-sponsored students, because we have the self-sponsored students and the government-sponsored students. So the government-sponsored students, who are the majority in the university, after going online when COVID happened, they realized that distance learning is actually a very flexible mode of study. And therefore, now that the classes have gone physical, the university gives the students a choice to choose whether to study fully online or whether to study through the face-to-face mode of study. So majority of the learners, 80%, prefer online learning because they have realized it is not only easier, according to them, but it's also flexible enough for them to participate in maybe shorter internship activities or temporary employment or part-time employment. So there is that challenge where majority of the students are online, and yet we'd like to see whether they're actually getting what they would have gotten in a physical class. So many facilitators are not as committed comparable to face-to-face teaching. So as I've said, that majority of the students are online, therefore facilitators are also teaching online, but we realize that commitment in a physical class is higher than online training. Now we use Zoom in our lectures. So Zoom lectures, which some learners refer to as online, have remained avenues of lecturers transmitting knowledge like it is face-to-face classes. So we have Zoom lectures, and some lecturers use the Google Meet. But what we are saying is that the interactivity during the Zoom lectures or the Google Meet lectures is not as high as that of face-to-face because the lecturers lack adequate skills, and also they are not familiar with certain tools that they can use to enhance interactivity. The other thing is that in many Zoom sessions or Google Meet sessions, learners concentrate for the first 30 minutes, then they drop off. So we have also noted, because now young learners are coming on board. Remember previously, distance learning was preferred by mature students who are working or they have other engagements. But now, as I've just explained, these young learners who are before 24 years have also gone online, and they are not as committed as the mature students. So because they think that attendance has to be taken, they just log in and disappear and start doing other things. So you can assume the learners are logged in, but actually they are not attending the class, or they drop off after some time. So that is one of the challenges that we are facing. Another key challenge is that the chat facility of Zoom is not enough to get all the learners actively participating in the class. So we are aware that the chat facility is limited, and therefore interactivity is not as high as it should be or as it would have been in a face-to-face class. So our question for today is, which tool can be used to encourage all learners to participate in synchronous classes and construct knowledge? So what we are saying is that there is limitation in what the lecturers are using while training the students. The idea of interactivity, because it is interactivity that will ensure the students are engaged, that will ensure they are learning or acquiring the skills well, and will ensure that they are actively participating in class and that they don't log in and drop out, or log in and they are not participating. So that is the question for today. And therefore, by the end of this session, we should be able to learn about a specific tool that can help us to increase participation in synchronous classes and enable our learners to construct knowledge. So thank you. That is the question. Back to you, Richard.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Wambua, for that very, very elaborate illustration and presentation of the case. And indeed, one of the cut statements that I've heard from you is that many lecturers duplicated what they used to do in class on Zoom. And so learners now, when learners talk of online classes, they talk about Zoom. And so even if they duplicated, is there something different that can happen on the Zoom class? That again, there is active learning. That's what I've learned from the question that you have asked. That's a big, big challenge. Many of us move and say we're doing Zoom classes, but even the Zoom classes themselves, they're as boring as the physical classes. Learners are still dozing. And then I think you said, which is very important, is that usually after 30 minutes, they start dropping off, which is true. Either they get bored or the data runs out, and so they can't sustain. But maybe if the class is active, it becomes more interesting, and someone can really probably get where they can sustain themselves online for a longer time. But colleagues, I would like to hear from you. Is there any question regarding this case? Any clarity that you wish to our case study presenter to make regarding this case? You are now welcome to say it. If you have something you want to say about this case study, if it resonates with you and your practice, it's okay. You can also enhance this case before we call upon our subject matter expert to further help us find a solution. Does anyone wish to comment on this case or ask for any clarity of sorts? Okay, so I think everything has been very clear. Dr. Wambua has clearly spoken to our hearts and what is happening out there. Let me call upon our subject matter expert to also validate this case. Let me introduce our subject matter expert before he comes on. Our subject matter expert is Dr. Godfrey Mayende. Dr. Godfrey Mayende is the Deputy Director and also a lecturer in the Institute of Open, Distance and eLearning, Makerere University, with over 15 years experience in distance learning and e-learning as a learner, as a scholar, as a lecturer, as a trainer, as a coordinator, as a researcher, and a manager of model programs. He's a specialist in online tools, embedded learning tools, learner engagement tools, and working with online groups, and in which he has a PhD at that. And he's a certified online and embedded learning practitioner and a researcher, a very interested person and passionate person in the area of online tools and e-learning. Dr. Mayende, you are welcome to greet the audience and validate the case. Over to you.
Thank you, Richard. You have said more than I would have said. Thank you very much. Yeah. We are going to look at the question, the last question that was given to us by Rebecca, Dr. Rebecca, is a question that I would like to pose as I start my presentation. Let me just share my screen here. Okay. The question Dr. Rebecca has given to us is, which tool can be used to encourage, or which tools can be used? I think we should use tools here. Which tools can be used to encourage all learners participate in synchronous classes and construct knowledge? That's the question they have asked. So which tools can we use? And what we are doing is I'm using Multimeter for you to generate, and I am putting that in the chat. You can be able to go to that chat and you go to that link and you can be able to respond to the question, which tools can be used to encourage, all learners to participate in the synchronous classes and construct knowledge. There are two ways in which you can do that. You can either click on this to get to another browser to do that, or you can go to www.menti.com, and then the code is up, what you see up there on your screen. The code is just a minute, I need to shift this a little bit further. The code is that one I have highlighted in red. You could also do, you could go for Menti, which is www.menti.com, and then you go to that code, then you'll be able to respond and give us feedback with Menti, so we can be able to get some feeds from you, because this is going to be also as interactive as what we had. You remember active learning? In the last sessions, we had someone covering active learning, and we want to just continue with where the person ended. So which tools can be used to encourage all learners to participate in synchronous classes and construct knowledge? Yes, we are seeing that things are popping up on the screen, and I'm hoping that many more are going to pop up on the screen. So far, we have like 5 people who have popped up messages, but we don't see more, and we don't want anyone to be left behind. So we are hoping that we are going to get as many tools here as possible, because remember, this is being recorded, and we shall start learning also those other tools, how to use them. Okay, I think the feedback we have got so far is good, but you can see that from the Mentimeter, which we are using now, I don't know whether because we are using Mentimeter, that Mentimeter is becoming bigger. Shows here, because the cloud grows and gives you the bigger one, is the one which appears more times. So people are saying Mentimeter is used for that, but you can see that they are also giving us SharePoint, whiteboards, Google Docs, WhatsApp, polling, H5P. There are some French things which Richard will read for me. There are also Google surveys, Zoom polls, discussion boards, and all this kind of, so there are many. Let's chat in the Zoom. I think they chat in Zoom. Big blue button. You know, I used to read the French, but I have forgotten. Okay, now that's what we can get as our word cloud. The word cloud can continue going on in the background as I think we can proceed as well. Let me just this. So we have now looked at this question, and we have seen several tools are used. And in this particular one, we are going to, in this subject matter experts that I'm going to be discussing about, we are actually looking at how enhancing active learning in a synchronous learning using Mentimeter. So it's going to be specific to Mentimeter, but it doesn't mean that active learning or engaging learners in a live session can only be done using Mentimeter. But Mentimeter is also one of the tools. So today, I'm going to drive myself on how to use Mentimeter, and it will be a practical session that we are going to be having. We are in this presentation, I've structured it with to talk about what learner engagement is, Mentimeter as a tool for learning engagement, then Mentimeter practical demonstrations on how to use the word clouds, the multiple choice, open-ended questions, ranking, and scales, and we see exactly what we do with it there. Meanings of learning, meaning of learner engagement in a synchronous session. I'll start because the word synchronous, some people may be wondering what is synchronous and what is asynchronous. So we are talking about a synchronous session, we're talking about versus synchronous versus asynchronous session. Synchronous is where you are all online at the same time and doing an activity, like you are live, everything is live. That's why you are going to see TV, there is live coverage. Something is happening at that particular time. So when I have a class and I have to work on it in real time, then I'm dealing with synchronous communication. So I must be there at that time allocated for me to be able to learn. while asynchronous is where you can be able to come in later on and check your chats or discussion forums and work on them and then make submissions. Everybody can come at different times and be able to do that, unlike in the synchronous communication. So the synchronous one is where we are all coming at the same time, and Zoom, which the case person has presented, is the one that which is associated with the synchronous communication, where you have a live lecture and people are coming in to engage. But learning happens through engagement with others. This is what vCOP tells us, that if you want people to learn, they must engage with one another. And when they engage, then there will be learning that will happen. And there are many interaction points that we can create. And sometimes when you design courses, you could design a course and intentionally embed these kinds of conversations or interactions. We have student-student interactions. We have student-teacher interaction. We have student content interaction, but we also have teacher content and all the other. But if you can be able to enhance this kind of engagement, then there's deeper and meaningful learning that can happen. But the key things, there are three very common, very essential ones. If you enhance student content and student-teacher engagement, that can enhance. That one is good enough to make sure to increase the learning process of the students. And therefore, for us, when we are going to run a synchronous lecture, live lecture, you are trying to make sure that you are engaging learners. You don't want learners to just sit there when they are not engaging in the activities that you are doing. The Multimeter as a tool for learner engagement. We have already used the Multimeter to crowdsource which tools we can be able to use for synchronous engagement in classes and for constructing knowledge. And we have already seen some of them that came out from that tool. But now we can see that you can use Multimeter to create crowd work. So if you have 400 students in a single class, of course, that would not be, people would say, hey, can you teach 400 students? But if you have 400 students, you can be able to do a crowd with ease, and then you can try to get what people are saying in that. And then people will be able to learn more things from there, because they will now start saying, okay, there's also this particular component. Now, like here, you see this cloud, mention any three skills or concepts or combination of both that you have learned since the organization training started up today. Now you see people were able to use that where you see blended learning, activity, Bloom's taxonomy, storyboarding, intended learning outcomes, and you can see that they are forming that cloud. And then you go to using just one word, give an example of the 21st century skills that learners needed to do. Then you are going to see that they are throwing, because this was on facilitators who are teaching and developing courses, and they're telling you that what is more key is communication skills, leadership, they're talking about networking, IT skills, software development. So the critical thinking, they kept giving a word cloud. And this is, you are engaging using a word cloud and using another additional tool. And write one intended learning outcomes, and somebody would be able, this is now cloud, where there are a discussion, people are typing in there and you are able to get what people are saying. But there are also other things like, I want to know, select the tasks you have been able to complete. I want to know if what is happening, why are people not completing? So I give them, tell me which tasks they have completed, and you can see that task one and the other ones are not yet completed, and you find out why. And then you could also, this is also connected with task, where you could ask the level you have completed the following task, and you give ranges on how the tasks are going, and realize these ones are maybe completed much better and these ones are not. And then you can explain them further. Just like the other one is ranking the task from the most challenging first. You want to give the most challenging task should be ranked as first, and the other ones ranked later. Then when they do a cloud, do the inputting of this information, that will be able to bring us into task. You can see that we're able to rank and see that this task is the hardest, and this one is maybe the second hardest. And that will help you as a teacher to go back and say, okay, what happened with this task? Maybe I need to re-explain it. Maybe people did not understand it very well. and therefore it can be. But this is all done in a live session as you move along. Yes, as we said, we are going to do. I am just going again to bring this question forward because I'm trying to apply what I'm saying. So we are going to run. I'm going to activity number 2 is a simple activity, which let me just copy again in the chat, and I put it in the chat. Activity number 2 is basically we are asking you to mention any 3 skills or concepts or combination of both that you have learned since training sessions started in this the vCOP, the community of practice. Still, I can annotate for you that you can also be able to get the code if you use another method, or you can be able to use the Menti here. So, but you can also just click on the link that I have shared in the chat. Yes, we can see that people are now submitting. Mention any 3 skills or concepts or combination of both that you have learned since the training session started. So for me, I see that 2 people have been able to submit, and here Multimeter gives me that option to see how many people have submitted here down in the corner, which I'm annotating. So it's showing me that 2 people have submitted, and we are waiting for others to submit. Now 3, it has now grown to 3, and somebody is telling us about H5P, and yes. And while that one is going on, usually what I normally do, I don't know whether I should do it here. Richard may not allow me. Yeah, sometimes what I normally do to make sure that everybody is participating and engaging in the classroom sessions, I normally pick one person randomly from the group, and I tell them to read for us what they see that is flowing on the Multimeter, and that will keep everybody alert, make sure that they see what is going on and they follow what is going on. So here you can see that we have been able to see that H5P is something that is really becoming much bigger. That means people think that that's the most skill, but there are many other skills you can see which they are talking about: Multimeter, Model, Google Docs by Dr. Kim, communication skills, synchronous tools, enhancing learner engagement, constructive alignment, learner content interaction. So here you can be able to see what is happening. And we have seen that 12 people have been able to submit, so it helps and to do that. So I will now again go back to, you can continue. You can just continue if you make more submissions, because I can keep the that alive, and I continue to the presentation. So here we have finished that question, and I've seen some of the tools that some of the skills you have learned. Even as who have not been attending, it gives a glimpse of what has been learned. Now we are going to start on the practical demonstration on how to use we have used it from the learner side, but now we are going to see how to create our own Multimeter so that we can be able to move on. So here, yes,
just a simple question, which I think is helpful before we move to the next step of the practical. Elaine has asked a question, which if you can help respond to, she's saying that how does content to content and teacher to teacher interaction happen? Would you by any chance have, because you drew Vygotsky's, I think that triangle, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, and she's asking, how does that content to content happen? How does teacher to teacher happen?
Teacher to teacher interaction is where they do team teaching.
Yes.
Sometimes in some organizations or some universities, especially in the business schools, there's a lot of team teaching.
Yes.
Excuse me. There's a lot of team teaching if people are working together. Then the other one, which you are saying, the content interaction.
Yes.
That is something that when I am not sure of the exact answer, Richard, but in a way, it's like when you are having this particular kind of content you are working on, and then it informs you to go and interact with another one. Content to content, go and read another one because they are influenced from this particular content.
Yes.
They're influenced to move to the next content.
Yes, Dr. Mayende, that is okay. That's okay. Thank you so much. That you can, for example, have text, content in text, and then you have a video embedded, and then you can also cross-referencing to other resources. So resources talk to each other. So that there is that kind of like aligned or synchronized or organized presentation. Then she's asking, Elaine is again asking that, can the teacher know exactly who answered or who did not answer when using Mentimeter? Can you know who has participated or not participated when using Mentimeter? That's the question she's asking.
Yes, when you're using Mentimeter, it's anonymous in nature. They don't tell you who has been able to participate. But because of that kind of engagement with the learners, because when they see, if they are seeing other learners submitting certain things, they are also engaging in a way, and they're being pushed to also contribute, and in chances are high that they also contribute here.
Yeah, they could also, of course, the learners have different characteristics. They could those who are introverts or are shy or fear to speak out. So if they have a chance where they can anonymously contribute, then it's a good thing. Then, of course, the final question, which you must not necessarily answer, but you're acting on it now. She asked, "What is that Mentimeter?" Now that's where we are going. So
now we are going to. Thank you very much. Thank you, Richard, to be there at the back and remind me about questions. Otherwise, I may just move on.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Richard.
Our final question: what is that Mentimeter?
Yes, we are going to start
so Dr. Mayende, you can now start and go on.
Okay, thank you very much. So now that we have been able to, let me just push this a little bit down. It doesn't play me. Okay, now we have already seen that this is our, sorry, I will do that. Okay, well, if you want to open Mentimeter, you go to www.mentimeter.com. www.mentimeter.com, and then you click there. And once you do that, I can copy this and just put in the chat for people to see. So I have put that in the chat, www.mentimeter.com. And when you do that, it brings you here where Mentimeter is. If you want, you can make a lot of readings about what Mentimeter issues to do with the futures, solutions, the resources, pricing, and all this. But for now, for this particular session, I'll just let you know that you can sign up Mentimeter. You can click on sign up. I can just do an annotation here where they sign up here up in the corner. And we are going to sign up for a Mentimeter account. We need an account because the Mentimeter has both the free version of Multimeter and the one I'm using is free. I don't have a license now, but I use the free version, which can do a lot of things with you. And there are also options of paying for some licenses, but we are now using the, we can also use the free version of that. So I am just going to go to click on sign up. And under sign up, you can sign up.
Dr.
Yes.
Dr. Maindi.
Yes, Richard.
Could it be that maybe whoever has been able to reach the Multimeter site can type 1 in the chat?
So that we know.
Able to reach that site. Yeah. Because
it's very good. Okay, I think that's correct. Okay, if you have been able, if you have been able to access www.multimeter.com and you are at the site, you are at this page where we are all are, then type a 1 in the chat. Type 1 in the chat if you have been able to reach here. Okay, where are the others? Okay, good. They are also getting there. Perfect. At least we can see that some people have been able to reach on type 1. But don't get shy. If you have not reached there, then maybe if you have not reached there, you should also type 0 in the chat. If you have been able to reach where I am now, www.multimeter.com, type 1. If you have not reached there, type 0. Richard, I don't see any zeros. That means we are doing well.
Yeah, so you can proceed, and we have just 25 minutes to the end of this presentation.
Okay. Yes. So once that is done, so once this is we have now seen, we can go to sign up. Under sign up here, you can be able to create a free account, and this free account you can either use email. I prefer this, but sometimes someone can just sign up with the Google or sign up with their Yahoo or Facebook or something. Yeah, but here you can sign up with Facebook or sign up with Google, but you can also put your email down here, which I prefer, and then you can be able to sign up by putting details here. So that's just entering your information, and you put in your password, and then you can be able to proceed. And therefore, I'm expecting that you are able to create an account. When you click, you should have an account in Multimeter. And I would ask the second question, Richard, is if you have been able to create an account, because it's a simple process, type 2 in the chat. If you have been able to create an account, type 2 in the chat. Okay. Yeah, that means that people have been able to create. The process of creating the account is actually very easy. Once you go to Multimeter, click on sign up, then you can just set up the account the way you want. At least we have champions who have learned, so it will be a very good thing. Then afterwards, after you have done that creation of champion, then we are now going to dig deeper into how to create the clouds and also this information that we're talking about. So then I'm now going to go to, now to Multimeter. I can just go back here where we had that cloud, but I will just push it out a little bit. And I also do like that. So what you are seeing there, you see that you have my presentations. if you have logged in into your Mentimeter, because now here you have my presentations, but there's new presentation and it's the new folder. You can be able to just go to create a folder if you want to organize your Mentimeter presentation that you make, or you can create a new presentation. And this particular case, I want to find out if you have been able, I think you have logged in already, isn't it? By virtue of creating, then you have logged in. Are you seeing, if you are able to see my presentations, type 3 in the chat. Just to avoid me talking alone. If you have been able to create, you are able to see my presentations, then you can type 3 in the chat. And if you are going to create, after that, if you are going to create, if you want to organize, for example, you have several lectures, you have to put them into different folders to be organized, then you have to go to new folder. It's quite very easy. I can just go there and say, click here to create new folder. And this is going to be maybe EDT 504 as the course. And then I click on create folder. And up here, when you see, it's giving me there's a folder called EDT 504. And if I want to do anything inside, if I go to new presentation, I will be creating it here. But if I want to create it inside this folder, then I click on that and it will appear my presentation and will put it there. And then I can click on, now here, this is where the new thing you should now take note, a new presentation. Under EDT 504, I'm going to create a new presentation and I'm going to click on new presentation. And I'm going to call this task number 1. And then you click on create presentation. It will load in the system and brings you here to click on the new slides. That's where we are. And up here, it's showing you that this is task number 1. Yes, now, if you have been able to create presentation and you are at this point where I am, I'm going to request you to type 4 in the chat. If you went to create presentation and you have reached where I am here, type 4 in the chat. Perfect, that's a good symbol. I'm now going to, request, I'm going to stop sharing and I want Elizabeth to share the screen where they are. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm requesting Elizabeth to share the screen where he is. I hope you have rights to share as well, unless otherwise. Elizabeth. Elizabeth Obura. Okay. Maybe, okay, anyone who has been able to, who has now reached the screen where it said and typed 4, you can share your screen. Good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, this is good work. Just go to my presentation. Just click on, you created you didn't name it. Okay, you can name that presentation task or something depending on the name you give, yeah. Okay, perfect. And then you click on create. Elizabeth, it's loading, just wait. Don't click anywhere. Now, we are going to use Elizabeth's. Now, Elizabeth Obura, there's a slide type. You see where there's a slide type? Okay, I can't annotate when you're sharing. Okay, good. There's slide type, good, there. And you are going to form a word cloud. We'll start with what you already know. We are going to form a word cloud, there, click on that. And then we have the question. Because before you come and go to Multimeter, you must have prepared a question to ask. Because if you are going to engage learners, then you have to prepare an activity you are going to ask within your presentation so the learners can be able to respond. Just like I prepared a question to ask in the beginning, I prepared another question to ask. So here is where you put the question you want to ask. Maybe mention any 3 concepts you have learned today. Something like that. Mention any 3 concepts you have learned today. Don't put a question there which necessitates a word cloud. You should have an idea how a word cloud looks like. The question should resonate with the word cloud and not saying that choose what is appropriate. Which of the following is, and then you are using a word cloud, then it might be very. So now go down here, entries per participants. You can have 3 by default, but you can reduce if you want, or you can increase if you want, so that what they enter can be that. Then scroll down a little bit. Scroll again, yes. There's extras here. Let participants submit multiple times. They can, if you want them to submit multiple times, for me, I normally do that. But if you want not to submit multiple times, then they will submit once and they can't submit again. If you really want to know who is participating and who is not participating. But you can be able to do that and allow people to submit several times if you want. And once that is done, the next thing to do is you're almost there with your word cloud. That's easy it is. Then there's in the corner there is present. Present. You can just click on the present itself here. Click there. Yes, Elizabeth, click there. Good. Now you are in a present mode. And you need to tell the learner, the other side, you share your screen and you give them the code. Sometimes you don't want them to see the cloud of others. You could even do it on the side and just send them the code in the chat. Tell them you just work and give me feedback. Is that okay? Now here you just go to what? Take the mouse pointer closer to mentimeter.com. Take your mouse pointer closer. No, menti.com, sorry, menti.com. Just in the middle there. Menti.com, near the code. Elizabeth. Up, go up again, slightly up. Up. Richard.
I can't get it, where?
Yes, please.
Yes, there is up here, there's go to menti.com. Have you seen where there's go to menti.com? Oh yeah, now I know.
Discovered.
Is the one shared, so you can't, maybe something is covering it. Yes. I know. But when you take the mouse pointer above Mentimeter, it will pop the link for the direct, which you can copy and paste in the chat. But you can also tell us to go to menti.com and use this code to respond. And I'm going to request people can respond to you, isn't it?
Okay.
Yes, then we see how it works from your here. Can we go to menti.com and put in the code 1743-4117? We just want to receive 1 or 2, and then yes. And you know, Rebecca has decided to share sorry. I can see. Okay, menti.com. You see now?
Yes.
Elizabeth, people are responding to you in a live session, in a synchronous session. And that's how you can be able to form a word cloud. But sometimes you can use it to do other things as well. But let us not talk about that. That is for another day. You can stop sharing, Yes, I've now explained how you can do a word cloud, but there are also other with how you can be able to form that word cloud. But here, I can also be able to come here and say, I want an open-ended. For example, I want an open-ended. You click on open, you now change it to open-ended. And you come and put a question here, open-ended. And you can ask a question, Richard.
Yes, please.
We can put in a question, an open-ended question.
Yes. An open-ended question. Maybe we can ask. We can still go back to where we began to make it a little bit faster. Which tools support synchronous learn? Which tool or tools? Now, do you want one question, one answer, or multiple answers?
They can give as many as they want.
Which tools support interaction in online learning?
Interaction
in online learning. Okay, in synchronous. Sorry, synchronous. Online is too wide. Synchronous learning. Godfrey, are you still on? I hope I've not gone off. Rosa Kanya, are we on or I'm the one who is off? Elizabeth?
Yes, I can
We are
hear
still
you.
on? Okay. Yeah, I think Godfrey is the one who has got a connectivity problem and was trying to type a question that we can answer. So let me think it's his phone. Sometimes when I'm using a phone for internet connectivity and you receive a call, it interrupts the service. But I hope, let me just give him a call. I hope he has realized that he has okay, he's back. So welcome back, Godfrey.
Sorry, Richard, the other network went off. I had to change. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I was still talking about we had put which tools should support. I'll just get back to that again. We said which tools should support interaction. And therefore, I am going to choose that you can enter as many times as possible. And then I click on present. Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, here I will get the link and just put it in the chat. We can do a quick one again, but the code is there as well. Which tools should support interaction in online learning? And now this one is, we say, you're hearing me? Richard?
Yes, Godfrey, you're very, very loud and clear. We have
Okay.
15 minutes to go.
Okay, at least now you see the way we need to get another person submit also, because we are using an open-ended, so it will give us this kind. The 15 minutes are only mine, or for even summing up, Richard?
15 minutes
for
we begin question and answer.
Okay, that's good. So here, which tools should support interaction in online learning? So you see that this is now a word cloud. You can write as much text as you want, and then not a word cloud, is open-ended. So you can ask students to brainstorm on something, and therefore we can engage and talk about that. That's now open-ended. And now let me just see. I will just again go back to. I will go back again, and we are going to create another. We'll create another. Yes. So when you go back to when I go back one step out of here, I can go and create. I'm going to create another new presentation, which I'm going to create here. So I'm going to click on new presentation, and I'm going to call this task number 2. And I click on presentation. And we are going to choose, because the slide decks are here. So here is where we choose the type. And for now, we are going to choose multiple choice. There are many others, but you can choose multiple choice. Your question here. What is the capital city of Kenya? What is the capital city of Kenya? And then I can just put the capital city of Kenya. I want somebody to reach, and you have created this question, what is the capital city of Kenya? You can type, when did we end? Type a 5 in the chat. If you have created the new, you said you want to use the multiple choice, and you have reached there, and you have typed what is the capital city of Kenya, then you type 5 in the chat. If you are lost, type 0. Hey, my people, I'm not seeing them now. You know those people who were hurrying to tell me they have now finished. I have Patrick Julie. Julie, I think if someone in the background should be helping me with Patrick Julie. Type 0, so he needs care. Is that okay? Salome has been able to already type that, but we need to get more 5s. We need to get more 5, but I would want to ask Richard, can Patrick unmute and speak?
Yeah,
Patrick?
It's all right. It's all right.
Patrick, can you unmute? And you just let us know where. Patrick? Patrick Jolie? Okay, can't speak. Okay. That's noted. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else who has been able to type a 5 have been able to reach here where we are talking about the quiz, and he has put the question, what is the capital city of Kampala, of in your options, you must include the Kampala. Okay. Now, let me ask Salome. Dr. Salome is going to share the screen. I'm going to give us that. Salome, can you share your screen? Dr. Salome.
I need to be given
I don't know what to tell
right,
this.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think somebody must already has noticed that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, well, I have so many things. Can you see it?
Not yet. We're not seeing it yet.
What do I need to do?
When you click on that green symbol down, share screen.
I did. Okay. I this one, share. Yes, yes. Now I have it.
Okay. Now what we are, you have chosen the, you have put the options here. I can see Kampala.
I've not put option 3.
Okay, you put option 3 now. And you're going to, okay. I guess there's no correct answer. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
Okay, we just can just leave it even if there's small typo. Yeah, but now down you can now run. You can go and run present.
Okay.
Yes. And you are going to let us now do the. We now do the voting. So we can just try to answer the question. Of course,
so I need to give you the.
You can give us the link, but sometimes when you take the mouse there, it is disturbing you. But the trick, can I give you a trick to do?
Yes.
A trick. Now it's there, but a trick you can escape. Escape, then you can be able to get the link. Now you take there.
Now I can't get
your
the
mouse
chart.
pointer. Just
where now? Okay, here.
I don't know where you are, but okay, you have sent to us now.
Yes.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but you have given us this is not the. You gave us results.
I give you this one. I need to give you this one.
And no, you when you take the mouse pointer near Mentimeter, just hover it near www.menti.com. Just here, you will
copy
see
link.
Copy link. Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the link we
Okay.
want.
Thank you. Wow, nice.
Then here you'll be able to say some people who intentionally vote decided for purposes of practice, they are voting wrong things intentionally. So don't. Yes. So basically, you can see that we are seeing outcomes, and you can be able to gauge that as you're doing a multiple choice to do some gauging in class, and then you can be able to decide on what we can do. Thank you very much, Solme. And yeah, and you see many people are now voting. Voting is happening. 8 people have voted. It becomes, yes. Okay, we can now close that again.
Okay. How
Yes,
how do I escape it?
You can stop sharing.
Okay.
When you go up here, there's this stop sharing.
Thank
Perfect,
you.
yeah, good. Yes, now once we have done that, I can again share my screen. And I'm just going to go back here. I'll just move backwards. And then when I go here, and I'm putting task number 3, and then you go to create. Richard, you said how many minutes?
No, you still have your 5 minutes. Then we go to question and answer, where again you will have a chance to clarify certain things.
When you go here to, when there is word cloud, open-ended, so you can also do a rank if you want to do ranking. And I'm going to rank. I'm going to rank to create a rank. Someone is interfering with your class. So we are going to do some ranking. And here like when someone says which was the most challenging question, the challenge force. We put you just into that, put networks. Database. I'm just
I think Dr. Mind is coming back anytime. The connectivity, I think where he's located right now is the one causing trouble, but I think he'll be back very soon to continue with that final task of ranking. Okay.
Sorry, Richard.
Meanwhile, colleagues, it's okay. Meanwhile, colleagues, there is a response. There's a survey in the link, rather in the chat. There's a link to a survey, or rather an evaluation of this session, which after you have filled and submitted, you can get a certificate for attending this particular session. Please kindly access that link in the chat and be able to give us feedback on this session that will help us to improve the other sessions. And also you get a certificate of attendance. Yes, Dr. Mainde, you can go on.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for that again. I have put back this. It's a ranking, but it's good for you to also see how the ranking looks like. That's why I'm just going to give you that, because when you tell people to rank, at the end, the students are going to ask you, how do we rank when you say that coming up on the screen? So I'm just going to copy that in the chat again. And we are going to see how ranking is done. So the process of deciding what to use and when to use is you determine that from the kind of questions and what exactly you want to get from the learners. Then you can use a cloud, you can use a quiz, you can use a ranking, you can use, but you need to be very innovative in deciding where to go. So here we have said we want a rank. So we want you to do some ranking as we are getting closer to the end of the session. I want to see one person at least who has answered this question. Number one, number two. If you select only one, then it will assume the others are not selected. Something like that. So, but there is the option you can select 1, 2, 3, but in the order, the way you want. Yeah. So this gives you now that which was the most challenging in this topic course. Then it gives you that information systems was more challenging, but this can keep changing depending on how people are answering or are ranking their items, and then you can be able to see them that. So in summary, as this is going on of the ranking, we have been able at least to see how to create Multimeter accounts, and I've been able to see how to form cloud using Multimeter. We have seen how to make open-ended questions. We have seen how to make quizzes. We have also seen how to do ranking, and so that the learners can be able to rank and then be able to see how to use these rankings in the way you have preferred. Thank you very much. Over to you, Richard.
So thank you so much, Godfrey, for that very fruitful and active presentation. And I've seen that Multimeter is such a strong tool that can enable active learning and participation by learners. Surely those who may be shy to speak out or to know that the ones who presented answers, I think they can also have a chance to participate. Now, Dr. Kim Welsh is asking, what are the limitations of the free version of Multimeter? Godfrey, what could be the limitations of the free? First of all, she's thankful. She has said, excellent presentation, Godfrey. Thank you. What are the limitations of the free version of Multimeter? Martin Yemani says, thanks. Yes.
Multimeter, you can make a PowerPoint presentation, many of them, with Multimeter. If you have a license that you can follow up with many others, but I can share the screen as well, and go slightly again to the Multimeter. I will go to here. When you look at the pricing here, which I didn't want to go to, it also gives you what are the things that they can do with the free version. Unlimited audience, unlimited presentation, up to 2 questions slides, and up to 5 quiz slides. While in this one, you have all free features, plus unlimited questions, import presentations, export results to Excel. And you have also this other one where you have all basic features, plus create a team, collaborate with others, add your own branding, and also customize. You can also have this, but these are all in different price range: free, basic, pro, and then enterprise. So you can be able to use one of them. Over to you, Richard.
Rebecca is asking that are learners able to use smartphones to use Multimeter? Can they participate using their smartphones, or they have to look for computers somewhere and then be able to participate in the discussions on Multimeter?
Yeah, you can use Multimeter even on the phone, yes.
Okay, you can enter and use your phone.
Yeah, but yes, you might be, Richard, you must be agile with like these new generation kids or children of these days. who know how to switch from one screen, you're on Zoom and then you're on the other one, you know, it's not easy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you're using a phone for a class and then the lecturer gives a Multimeter activity, you must be able to minimize the screen and maneuver on the next screen and then be able to come back.
Yes.
All right. And that's very good. Yes. And I see that here Elaine has also asked a question. Let me come back to you shortly. So Elaine wants to find out the price that, what is the basis of that pricing? Is it based on the number of learners?
I think the pricing is not based on the number of learners, but there is functionality in terms of what you can add on you to do, but it's not based on the number of learners. Even in my free version, they have told me unlimited, so I can have as many, 400, 500, 1,000, and they all cloud into Multimeter.
Okay, but what you can do with that one is what matters most. And that's why they base the price. What you can do with.
Yes, the functionalities.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, colleagues, for those questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Mayende, for that. I want to give your last remark to the colleagues. Any last word?
Yeah, I'm so excited and so happy to be here again. And I'm genuinely so happy to see my teacher, Kim Walls here also. And in the earlier presentations I've made at Rano, I also saw someone from ASU, so I was very excited. So I'm so happy with to be called again for this presentation. And this class has been very, very engaging. They have been very active. This is a class, Richard, I would love to teach every day because they're active, they are involved, they get out with a lot of information in there. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Mayende. Could I please ask Dr. Wambua for her final remarks? Has your question been answered and has this been fruitful to feed into your case? Dr. Wambua, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that very good interactive presentation. I think that's the sort of class we should have in our classes. So I'm very grateful even to go through this presentation. I've learned quite a lot. And yes, my question has been answered. And it was a privilege for me to participate. And of course, my classes will be better than they are today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Wambua. Thank you for that case you presented. Thank you, Dr. Mayende. Thank you, all colleagues who have been here, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you can still be kind enough and fill our evaluation. The link is in the chat. And at the end of that evaluation, there's a certificate. I'd like to thank all of you who have come to attend. I would thank all our distinguished presenters in the previous sessions. Dr. Kim Welsh from Arizona State University, I know you're here. Mr. Martin Yemani from Evangelical University of Cameroon, you are here, you presented before. Madame Eliane Etobe, you have presented before from the Catholic University of Central Africa and the Catholic Institute of Yaoundé, Cameroon. And Dr. Godfrey Mayende, yes, you are presented even today. And Professor Speranza Ndege is presented here once, and she's unable to be here today. She lost her mother. She's from the University of Embu. She has been unable to attend today because of that unfortunate incident, and we are with her. We stand with her in prayers. So colleagues from the University of Embu, please extend our sympathies to Professor Speranza Ndege. We have missed her here, but I know she's an ardent member of this community. Now, anyone who would wish to participate in the sessions as either a subject matter expert or a case study presenter, please feel free to get in touch with us. I've put my contacts in the chat just in case you need to write. If you want to get in to participate in these sessions, or if you have a topic that you'd wish that we find an expert, we shall be very glad to find an expert to be able to know to address that topic. So we'll be very glad to have that. Of course, we have many presenters lined up. Dr. Elizabeth Obura from the University of Embu has expressed interest in presenting one of those times. Mr. Martin Yemani, who presented once, is also interested in presenting again. He wants to come and tell us about how to organize courses in Moodle. So we are going to arrange and see how colleagues come on board. Please don't hesitate to keep bringing those requests. Give us your comments. Want to make this better. Advertise these sessions as wide as you can. We have a WhatsApp group for our community. We're going to add all of you there. And Dr. Rebecca Wambua said that they're starting the East African, I think it's an association for open distance and e-learning, and she's now the current chair. Please, please, please. We're going to put you in the WhatsApp group, Dr. Wambua. You can still talk about in the WhatsApp group of the community. We can still follow it up and support the idea very, very strongly. So I thank you so much, colleagues, for this, and please, 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 I thank all the members of the organizing team who are in here with us, and I wish you all well. Bye-bye, and God bless you.
Richard, I saw a hand of Rebecca up.
Rebecca, the hand is up?
Yes, it's up.
Hey,
yes,
Please go ahead. Go ahead before we close.
Okay, I was requesting if you can share the link for the survey. I don't seem to have gotten it. The link for the survey. Yeah.
Please post the link for the survey again. Okay. Our next session, maybe I did not tell you, the next session, this session is happening every last Wednesday of the month. Every last Wednesday of the month. These sessions happen. So the next session will be on 27th July 2022. Again, to be a Wednesday, we shall begin at the same time. Okay. So thank you so much, and bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Richard, and thanks for all those who present this evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.